enough to be at home, we may find that we have a lot of extra time on our hands. And along with spring cleaning, it's the perfect time to go through your closets. And I brought in the perfect expert today who does this for a living. Hi, Debbie Mikulla.
Well, hi, Sheryl. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so glad that you could be a part of this. And you're a member of Successful Women Made Here, so that's how we know each other.
Yes.
Yep. So we usually see each other once a month at least in person,
yes,
but
we do.
I know we're all now from our computers, and it's wonderful. So I'm so excited for you to give people some tips and also how they can even work with you after this virtually too. Yeah,
absolutely.
So let's start a little bit with your background. I know that you've been in the beauty and fashion industry for more than 35 years. Then you transitioned from being a hairstylist to salon owner and then wardrobe and personal stylist. But along with that, I know that you said you started getting a lot of questions from people of like just how to really organize the chaos that's probably happening in their closets. But maybe share with us a little bit of your story.
Sure. So yes, I knew when I was a junior in high school that I was going to go to cosmetology school. I wanted to be in the hair and beauty business. I really wanted to also focus on makeup. And so I didn't go that route, was a professional colorist and cutter. And about 15 years ago, I learned about a direct sales ladies clothing line. And I was always the go-to fashion advisor for all of my salon clients. And so I started that business 15 years ago. And as I would meet new women, I would repeatedly hear that they had the same issue, or they would say the same thing to me almost to a person. And that was, oh my gosh, I could never let you see my wardrobe or see my closet. It's so out of control. It's unbelievably out of control. I really need help in my closet. And a little side note, I had already been helping some of my salon clients with their closets for free, probably more than 20 years ago, because I've always, probably won't surprise you, I've always had a pretty tidy, organized closet and wardrobe myself, because that's just what I do. And
well, it's good to live by, it's good to live by your word too, right? So it is really do as you say and do as you
Sure. So I did that. I helped some clients with their closets, but then I was attending some training for the wardrobes business. And I do have an amazing mentor, and her name is Jackie Walker Dunscombe. And she came in one of the 3 days of training and spent the entire day helping advise us on fits and body shapes and all of those sorts of things. But she also had her own personal closet organization and wardrobes business, and personal shopping and cleaning out the closet, etc. So I really did study under her, and I was inspired at that training to name my business Closet Control, because that's what I kept hearing over and over, was how out of control closets are. And I knew that I could help women. And so that's how it was born.
I love that. And yeah, and I would imagine too, when you help people with their wardrobes, that there's just this sense of, if everything's organized in your closet, that almost like the elephant's off your back, right? Or the off your shoulders.
Well, it truly is. The thing is, we all have to get dressed every single day. And that is a space or a place we either go into or stand in front of. Not everyone has a walk-in closet, but when you stand in front of those clothes and decide what you want to wear for the day, a lot of decision and thought has to go into that based on who you're seeing, what you're doing, where you're going. And statistics, my research shows that the average woman spends 17 minutes standing in front of her clothes trying to determine what to wear.
Right, because there's nothing to wear. There's nothing to wear. Yeah, you'll stare at it and go,
I know why that is. I can tell you exactly why there's nothing to wear in there. Because the majority of women do not shop on purpose for their clothing. Women wear 20% of their clothing the majority of the time. Men
and
wear
the same
80%.
Do they really?
20. Men wear 80% of their clothing. And I can tell you, for instance, my husband, he'll go shopping once or twice a year. He's gone all day. He comes back with 6 new shirts, 4 pairs of pants, maybe 2 pairs of shoes, a couple belts, whatever needs updating, and socks and undies and the whole kit and caboodle. And then he's done. women shop for every reason but need. We shop for comfort, for socialization. We feel fat. We feel bored. We're
A
frustrated.
lot of impulse buying too.
Totally
Oh, that
impulse
shirt is really
buying.
cute. I'll wear it someday. And I have to admit, I get a lot of the clothes that I'm always thinking I'm going to lose that 5 to 10 pounds that I just don't seem to do. But when I buy clothes, I buy them as if that's going to give me incentive to lose that 5 pounds. And then they sit in my closet. But
here's you want to know a better trick? So why don't you incorporate this?
Yeah.
Instead of saying, I'm going to buy this now and it will inspire me to lose 5 pounds, why don't you keep that item in mind? And when you lose 5 pounds, that is your treat and your reward. And it will be even better when you put that on, because you're rewarding yourself. You did the hard work to lose 5 pounds and you're not wasting money. All of those clothes hanging in the closet is wasted time and money and energy.
Yeah, that takes some purchase control.
It really does. Yeah, that's true. Control. Yeah, it really does take a lot of discipline. And I will tell you, even though I had a super organized and tidy closet and wardrobe, I didn't have a wardrobe that fulfilled my needs. And so as I have fleshed out the closet control services over all these years, I realized a lot of women are like me, like what you just mentioned. I would buy clothes not for 5 pounds lower, but I was buying clothes for the life I was living inside my head. I was buying
that's a good point.
Sparkly, cute cocktail dresses because it was on the sale rack and it was amazing and I know I'll wear it. But then I didn't have what I really needed in my closet when I went to go do X. It's like, I need to start thinking about the things I'm doing in my life and where the holes are, and writing that down and put those pieces on the top of your shopping list.
That's a great point.
Again, discipline. It really is.
Yeah. Are you buying them really for the things that you are most doing in your life, or is it that wish list? I just want to let everybody know we are going to go through 5 things to get your closet under control. So make sure you keep listening for that, because we have it really broken down, and Debbie's gifting you that as far as 5 things that you can do on your own. But again, you can certainly look her up at DebbieMikulla.com and work with her on the side too, virtually during time and
absolutely
eventually in person. So.
We can certainly use FaceTime, and it won't exactly be the same as me being there, perhaps touching your clothes and laying them out. But we can certainly still do laying out and creating of outfits, and we can go through all of the exercises that I've created in the full closet control appointment, which assesses what those needs are that we were just talking about a minute ago. And that's personalized for every client. So it's a series of questions that we determine what your needs really are. And when we take that then into your closet, many of my clients see the mismatch, like, oh.
Yeah. So I love the point when you were talking about earlier too, of how as women, especially, that we tend to really only wear about 20% of the clothes in our closet. And then I find out of that 20%, it's the same ones then day after day. I don't seem to really even branch out of that. I just keep recycling those. So,
and there's a reason for that. The reason
what is our mindset on that?
Well, there are several things. And I mean, I can get into that too when I'm really, really busy. We are all really busy. And we know what works and what's comfortable. And we tend to gravitate toward that because not everybody really wants to spend 17 minutes in the morning figuring out an outfit to wear. So you grab what you know works. And that's why you keep going for the same thing. So when I work with women, I advise them to do 2 closet clean outs, wardrobe purges a year. And once you do that, you get into the habit and see that it's really not difficult. And going into every season, and I consider spring and summer a season and fall and winter a season, when you go through every piece before you get that ready to wear for the season, you then know if it works or not. Does it fit? Do you love it? So the only things you should have in your closet are pieces that you know work, you love it, it suits you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's really what I help women do.
Actually, I think that ties in really well with the first point that you have in your 5 steps. And I would imagine in doing that maybe we just need to actually at least once or twice a year, you mentioned, in the purge, try on everything. And I have to admit, this aspect also actually makes me a little anxious because of what I disclosed earlier, that I tend to buy some of those clothes that I think I will fit into hopefully soon. I'm afraid to try them on because I know they probably don't fit. But I don't want to get rid of them because they're still new.
What are you afraid of? What is scary about it not fitting? What's
I know they're going to be tight. They'll be tight. Okay. And there are these great dresses that I got that I want to wear to successful women right here, to the live events, because I love dresses. So whenever I do hold the events.
And you look amazing in them. It's kind of a signature, Sheryl. I think it's really a signature look for you.
Oh, thanks. I love dresses. So I never liked the suit look. It just always felt too stifling for me. So then I find these great dresses, but then I tend to buy them, like I said, or I think I'm a 4, but then I get home and I realize I'm really not a 4.
Did you not try it on in the store?
Not always. Not always.
You have to try it on.
Yeah. Not always. And then sometimes I buy them online.
Oh, sure. So, well, then that's different, right?
Yeah. But then I want to keep it because it's so beautiful and maybe I got a great deal on it. And then I figure, well, then I just need to buckle down and lose the weight so I can actually fit in it. But then they're the same dresses that have been sitting in my closet now for like 3 years and they're gorgeous. Maybe you'll see them one day.
I know. I hope I do. The thing is, you looking at those same dresses year after year after year actually...
It's a little depressing.
Triggers a negative feeling and emotion when you go into your closet space and look at those pieces. Yeah. And you paid good money for it, or you got a good deal, but how good of a deal is it when it's just hanging there unworn? Yeah. And I advise clients, try it on. And if you purchase online, and I'm a big fan of online shopping too, you can you have the universe at your fingertips. I buy the majority of my shoes online. If they don't fit, send it back. Most places have free return shipping. So again, it takes discipline and just saying, I'm taking this time for myself, dressing our bodies and building our wardrobe. I believe is part of self-care. It's like getting your hair done. It's like brushing your teeth. It's caring for your skin. Why not care for these clothes that we're putting on our bodies, and they define us. They really make a statement about who we are, whether we think they should or not, whether we want them to or not, they sure do.
Yeah, that's a great point. They really do define us. So what's your advice on that? So we try something on.
So here's
it's a dress
I
love. Do I still really get rid of it, or do I give it some time? Give myself time.
Let's just role play, and let's say you are my client, and this has happened in real life as I work with women, because we as women, probably more so than men, do deal with changes in our body, whether due to pregnancy, hormonal changes, and so forth. Women do have to deal with that. So how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how sure are you that you will lose these 5 pounds? And when do you plan to lose them? And do you have a plan in place to lose them? And I actually send clients, I have a great book. I'll plug Eat Right for Your Type real quickly, and it's been revised. The 20th anniversary was a year or 2 ago, so it's updated. It's all about eating for your blood type, and I followed it when it first came out in 2000, and I was like super duper fit, like, oh my gosh. I still lost 4.5 pounds in 1 month. It's not a weight loss book. The weight loss is a side effect of eating right to have your healthiest, strongest immune system, of which about 70% is in your gut. So that's the premise of the book. And I did it again about 7 years ago because I was a chubba wubba and I was tired of how I looked. I saw a picture of myself and went, oh, this is not working. So I pulled the book back out, and in 3 months I had lost between 15 and 17 pounds. And I've pretty much stuck with that ever since. So that and exercise. So it's about having a plan. If you really do want to change your body, you have to commit to having a plan to do so. So if you do want to make a plan to do that, I would say have a special place for those dresses in your house, but not in your closet where you're hanging all of your clothes that you're going to wear on a regular basis.
Oh, that's a great tip.
It needs to be in a different place. And I would actually date it. I would write yourself a letter and say, I, Sheryl, am committed to losing this last 5 pounds because I know it's going to make me feel and look better, and I really want to accomplish it. And I would like to do this by X date. Give yourself 2 months, 3 months, whatever time frame, something realistic. Attach it. Don't put the clothes in plastic because they need to breathe. But attach it even with a straight pin or just a piece of tape on one of the front hangers and have that section where these are the dresses I'd really love to get into. And when that date comes around, if you haven't done it, you're probably never going to do it. And it might be time to donate those dresses to someone who could really benefit greatly from having them.
That is a fabulous tip right there. That I don't know. I hadn't even thought of that. And so
I'm
hopefully
full of them, Sheryl. I know. I hope we don't take too long in this interview. I mean, there are so many things that can help women. That's just one of them.
No, I love that, to actually separate those things out that do not fit me right now, put them in a different section of my closet with a date, and then say, and that actually might truly be the real incentive, and say, if I'm not fitting in these by then just, I got to just clear it out of my mind, because because I do look at them often. Every day we walk into our closet, as you said, and I look at them and I just think, oh, that dress is so pretty. I really want to wear that.
And here's something else I would do so you don't forget, depending on where you put those. I don't know if you have another spare closet or something somewhere, or else the very back of your closet. And then I don't know how many items you have. Take a long ribbon and just weave it through and tie it in a bow to know those are the separated pieces that you're not wearing. But also, I think say hi, everyone.
What's your dog's name again?
This is Tug. Say hi, everyone.
Hey, Tug.
I think he's ready to get up and go lay in his bed. He's been curled up on my lap. Okay, bye, baby.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I would also not only date that, but go into your calendar, whether it's electronic or paper, and whatever that date in the future was, at the halfway point, make a note for you to check in on yourself. And then at the finish date, say, here's the date. I'm going to go grab those clothes. Am I keeping them? Do they fit, or are they gone? That way you're just really making sure you're going to stick to your plan.
Right. No, I love that. So we have a plan. We're putting them in a different section. We're giving ourselves a timeline. So that's essentially, I think, was there anything else as far as the assessment that you want to include, or is that essentially it?
And to go back to the number one about trying on, it really can seem daunting to try on every single piece at once. I shared in my newsletter, which I know you're on my newsletter list. And if anyone would like to join my monthly newsletter, I send it out via email on the first of every month. And it's always a particular subject, some kind of wardrobe tip, something that's going to help you.
Yep. And I have the website scrolling right now. So it's at debbymikulla.com.
Yes. So you can certainly contact me through that. You can also email me at studio@debbymikulla.com, and I'll be sure to add you to the list. So with the number one, I had also suggested if it's too overwhelming, you need to schedule time for that as well. Mark out on a Saturday or a Sunday or a Tuesday at 2, whatever, because today we have maybe more time than normal. And that's why I think this is a great time that you and I are speaking, because ladies, you can get the bulk of this done right now. And once you go through these exercises, you don't have such a huge task ahead of you ever again if you keep up.
And we have the time now.
The steps.
We definitely have the time.
So break it down into just pants or jackets. And so try every single piece on in front of a full-length mirror. So the assessment, I bring in the answers to the worksheets and exercises that I email my client ahead of time, those who work with me and do a closet control service. And I have 3 levels of service. So depending on which service you choose, you will answer these questions, and those form the basis, the criteria by which we assess the clothes. When I very first started this a dozen years ago, I didn't have the assessment and the different steps. We just went in, tried on, do I keep it, toss it, donate it, alter it.
So you kind of went right from step 1 to 3.
Women struggled. They really struggled. And I never make the decision for someone. I'm there to guide you to make the right decisions for yourself based on all the information that we cull from those exercises. So that's what I realized. I need to dig in here more because it's all up here. It's not really what's hanging in the closet. I needed more information. So that information is what we both use to assess, but I will share a couple with you. The main things are, does it suit your shape? And we all not only have our outline shape, which sometimes are compared to fruits or geometric shapes. We do have a particular shape. We also have horizontal lines. You can be even-waisted, long-waisted, or short-waisted, and those horizontal lines really greatly determine what styles and silhouettes look good on you as well. So that's the number one thing. If you have something in your closet that is not flattering or suitable for your beautiful shape, it's gone. That right there gets rid of a lot of pieces that are just not ever going to work for you. You're never going to feel comfortable in it.
Do you think we're a good enough judge of that, or should we have obviously, or someone like you, or even a family member to say, really, what do you think of me in this outfit? Or do you think we kind of all know whether?
Yeah, I think we all kind of know, especially women that I tend to work with tend to be more 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. They've been buying clothes for themselves long enough. They kind of know, but I do work with some women who aren't sure. They really do need my assessment. And there are several different ways to figure all that out by actually measuring and other little tips and tricks. The second thing I would say is, does it suit your coloring? And something to keep in mind, our coloring changes as we mature and ripen.
How does it change? Why does it change, or how?
Here's how it changes. We tend to lose color in our skin, our hair, our eyebrows get lighter. Have you ever noticed women of a certain age when they might have let their hair go natural, or maybe not, but they just look better with really bright lipstick, less eye makeup, a bright lip, and they look better in color, not tans and beiges and camels. We do tend to lose a little color. So these are all just things to keep in mind as your wardrobe evolves. And I do like to share with people, our wardrobes are evolving, living things just like us. We don't just go out and buy our entire wardrobe at one time. It's continually evolving as we grow and evolve and change. So something to keep in mind as you do your assessments every year.
Yeah, that's a great point. Should we go on to
shape and color? Sure.
The number 3 then?
Yes. So
how we part with those. Yeah.
Right. Now we've assessed. I suggest making piles for all of these, the keep, donate, toss, alterations. Many times I work with clients and they say, wow, I just don't know. It just seems kind of loose or floppy here, or it's this or that. And all it needs is a minor alteration, and it is absolutely perfect. And then we just determine, is it worth it to you? Do you love this? Does it suit your shape and your coloring? Yes, I love it, and I'm going to wear it a ton. Then it's worth an alteration. So we do make all of those piles. So what you're keeping is what goes back in your closet. I like to use a collapsible rolling garment rack. They are about $60 at the Container Store or Target, and they fold down pretty low. You can slide it under a bed. I stand mine in the back of a closet. And it makes it super easy to take whatever category you're assessing, try it on, make your piles. Whatever you keep goes back on the rack. That's a great time to also determine, wow, what's missing? I have a lot of this, but not enough of this. There is kind of a rule of thumb. I say there are no rules, but there are rules of thumb with wardrobes and clothing that you might want to have about 4 tops per bottom. Sometimes I work with clients and they are very top heavy and don't have enough bottoms because typically they're hard to find to fit.
You read my mind. I was just thinking of that as you were saying that when we assess. Yeah, I kind of thought, I know I do have a lot more tops. And I guess that makes sense because we can keep the same bottoms that can be basic, right? A black, a gray, a brown.
Absolutely.
Is that what you recommend even too? One of each kind of color? A khaki.
It depends on what your colors are. I advise, because that's one of the steps we do also in the long closet control appointment. I have found that, and this is no hard and fast rule, I think people should do what they want to do. But I have found if your goal is to have ease of dressing and effortless dressing and a wardrobe that really works together very readily is to have a color palette all your own that you stick to. And typically that's several neutrals, and then add white or cream. I'm a neutral skin tone, so I can equally wear white or cream as well as the other. Some clients are definitely best in white, some are best in cream. And then maybe have 3 to 4 actual colors. So I'll use my own as an example just to tell you what I'm talking about. So my neutrals are black, gray, and navy. And I think everyone has denim, so we'll just assume denim. And then I have cream and white. And then my colors tend to run in the pinks, reds, and berries, burgundy in the fall, winter. And then I do some blues as well. I never met a blue striped shirt I didn't love. Or floral prints, blues. That's it. I many times see pieces of clothing I love, but it's in this color that just isn't, it's really not going to go with a lot of my pieces. And I've ended up saying no to it. I just, no matter how much I love it, I won't wear it enough to warrant managing it. You know, we spend a lot of time managing our wardrobe. We should talk about that too. Not just the money you spend on it, but you really spend time managing your clothes, laundering them, caring for them, putting them away, all of that. So these are all just things to think about.
Yeah, I guess that's a great point to bring up right now. Are there certain fabrics and everything you've done with the wardrobes? Is there a certain fabric that you think really holds up by far better than others?
Well, I am a huge fan of viscose. It's a plant-based fiber. And there are some great polyesters today. So many people freak out on polyester because back in the 70s, it was so awful.
Right. Yeah.
There are really super high-end designers. I knew polyester had turned a corner when maybe 15 or so years ago, I saw a beautiful ball gown that John Galliano did made out of polyester. It was featured in Vogue magazine, and it's not your old polyester. It's amazing, and it's easy to care for because you can launder it. Same with viscose. The blouse I'm wearing is viscose. Better fabrics, buy the best quality fabric. And of course, you know, I sell and show a line of beautiful, amazing clothing. And the reason I do that is for all of those things that I like to help my clients achieve. Clothes that last a long time, are classic and timeless, but with enough of a twist you don't get bored. They're special enough.
Yeah.
But there's longevity in your wardrobe and you're not constantly turning over, and the fabrics wear like a dream. So look inside the seams. Let's say you're out shopping, whatever store you're at, turn the garment inside out and notice how well the seams are finished or not finished. That's a real good indicator too. You don't have to spend a fortune on clothes. Can I share something with you since we're talking about that? I jotted this. I love statistics.
Okay.
So I find this interesting. And we're going back a few years. So in 1950, the average family spent 12% of their annual income on clothing. Today, we spend 3%.
Wow.
And we have way more clothes. So that just shows you how we are buying more clothing than ever and spending less for it. And it just goes along with the whole fast fashion trend, which is really damaging to our planet as well. So,
yeah, that's an interesting mindset, because I know that I did that when I was younger, and sometimes I'm trying to move away from that, but it can be a mindset and a slower process. But I know when I was younger, my parents would give my sisters and myself $100, and we'd go to a mall. We'd go to Chicago.
Oh my gosh, that's
yeah.
fun.
So in the time, it was like $100 felt like. Yeah, so it was a challenge. Oh, I know. So we'd spend the whole day going from store to store and trying on clothes and figuring out how we were going to use our $100.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so fun.
But for some reason, as a kid, and I have to work on this still, is I kept thinking I wanted to get as much as I could for that $100. You know, rather than if I got just one piece for the $100, I don't know that I could have done that then. Where I'm working on now.
Do you want to know where that comes from?
Yeah.
I can tell you. That's because you're coming from a place of scarcity, and not just you, but all of us as humans. It is deep within our limbic brain. We come from a place of scarcity, and it goes back to when we were searching for berries and herbs and meat, food.
Right.
I don't know when I'm going to find it again.
And nowadays it's toilet paper, right?
Oh my gosh.
we all want our toilet paper.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the piece of it. You're not never going to find clothes again. And when you look at it as choosing something that you can wear a lot of different ways and to a lot of different occasions, that dress, depending on how you style it, you could put fancy shoes and jewelry, sparkly, go to a wedding, go to a shower, wear it today, go to church, whatever, go out to dinner. That's what I share with my clients, just how to ways to be really more thoughtful and purposeful in the things you choose to buy.
That's a great point. So we've tried things on, we've assessed them, we've kind of made our piles. Are we going to keep, get rid of?
Yes.
What about now? Now you have on here clean. So before we put things back, actually just do a deep cleaning on the closet.
Yeah. I mean, if you have the time to do it, now is the best time to do it. And it's amazing how dusty and funky it gets in there. So much dust can accumulate. So
right. And we don't really think about that, to actually clean the shelves and wipe everything down. Maybe now's the time to polish any shoes.
Sure. Oh, great time. Get them ready. Get them ready for the coming season. And really assess your shoes. This has surprised me. That is the category that I see the most. This is the category that most women do not keep up with in updating, buying better. Okay, I did work with a client recently who has an amazing shoe collection. So not her, but a lot of people, we can put together some pretty cute outfits and they look really polished and put together. And then you get to the shoes and they need to be tossed. So look at the heels, look at the inside, look at the outside. If that bad boy is all cracked or torn or worn, I have a great shoe repair. I have 2 that I suggest clients use, but I think a lot of us can tell when something's kind of beyond repair and it just needs to go.
Right. Yeah. It's time to get a new pair of shoes.
Cleaning the floor, just I'm a big fan of the microfiber dust cloths. You can even dampen it down just a little. Just get it ever so slightly moist. So it will collect every bit of dust on the clothing rods. Even the tops of hangers can get dusty. Tops of your clothes can get dust. So do that, clean the floor, and then it's all sparkly.
And it may be a time to even look at the clothes, like you were mentioning the shoes, really take a look at, are they beyond wear? Maybe it's time, are they really, this is a criteria for me. When I take my clothes sometimes to the stores that sell, right, to make some extra cash.
Oh, to consign.
Yeah, to a consignment place. And when they don't choose half of my clothes, that's when I realize I've hung on to them too long. So, and it could be a number of reasons. Like they usually tell you at the end, like, well, we didn't buy these because several of them were out of style. Other ones were just too worn, that kind of thing.
Or they might have so much of that already. I love to talk about consignment. I had mentioned it also in that newsletter that I just sent out on the 1st. You just don't really get much money today consigning clothes. There was a time when you actually could, and I had great stores that I started consigning things in the late 80s, early 90s. I noticed it change when eBay came on the scene. How many years ago was that? When you could start, and then the whole fast fashion, when you can buy something new for $5 or $10 or $20, why is someone going to go want to buy, even if it's a better garment, but why will they want to pay anything for a used garment? And even the majority of items that end up in the consignment and secondhand stores end up in our landfills. The U.S. sends 21 billion pounds of clothing, of textile, fabrics to landfills every year, the U.S. alone. It's a lot.
My. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah. So things to think about when you're out buying clothes.
Yeah. So what is the placement?
So the placement is, now your closet is all clean and sparkly. You know what clothes you're keeping. They all are amazing. They suit you. You love them. Now we go back, hang them in the closet. And most people I work with hang their clothes or place their clothes the same way I do and the way I suggest. I think every Closet Guru or Wardrobe Stylist has their best way, and I think none of them are wrong. It's just really whatever works best for you. I find it easiest, my goals are kind of my mission, my mantra is to save time, look amazing, but to get it done quickly and effortlessly. I find it easiest to put outfits together when you hang like items with like items, tops, jackets, pants, skirts. And I like tops, jackets on the top bar. Let's say you have a double hanging closet, skirts and pants on the bottom. If not, if it's all one rod all the way around, just place each type by itself. I tend to go white to black with colors kind of in the middle. I have clients who do white and black and then color. So whatever makes sense to you and works for you and is pleasing to your eye. I also think that matching hangers is key. It is amazing how much more the focus is on your clothes when your hangers all match instead of just random assortment. I know that sounds really odd.
No, I hadn't thought of that.
It really is. I've had clients text me and say, oh my gosh, you're right. I went out and got all matching hangers. It's unbelievable.
It looks like a grown-up closet, I imagine. You're right. In the designer homes, you always see matching hangers, or even in the hotels, all matching.
Piece of it. I'll throw another statistic at you. One of the reasons that's one little key piece that will greatly help you is our brains take in 14,000 bits of information per second, every minute of every day. And, obviously the majority of that is subconscious. We're not totally aware of it, but we're taking that in, and all that jumbled hanger leads to more confusion in your brain. So when you can eliminate those things where you can, and you can eliminate all the wire hangers or mismatch hangers or plastic store hangers and have just nice, beautiful matched hangers, it looks good, it feels good, and it reduces decision-making.
That's incredible how something as simple as that, the hangers, you're right. It's how we when we see things, I think it's the whole feng shui of it too. It's how when we see it and our brain doesn't have to declutter things or see chaos. When it sees more clearly, then we can focus on other things like what to actually wear today and see through all that. Yeah.
And then the other thing I wanted to say is once you've gone through all these steps in the matching hangers and it's clean and all of these clothes suit you perfectly, you love them, it actually changes how you can start your day. You walk into this space and it is beautiful and serene. How nice is it to start a busy day like that instead of digging through piles on the floor? Where are those black pants that I know fit? Because no one's taken time to try on the 87 other pants, because nobody ever does that.
Yeah.
That's why they hire me.
Right.
I stand over them and make them try every piece on.
I think it's wonderful. So, gosh, thank you for sharing all these fabulous tips today. I think you've really given us insight to how to go about, just really organizing our closet. And it really does clear the mind. When we clear the clutter, we clear the mind.
My goal is too that as you're clearing the closet, all of these things that I shared, again, they do have a bit of a psychological piece to it. My goal is that as women continue to shop for clothes and build their wardrobe, that they'll keep these things in mind and make better decisions for themselves, for their budget, for their time, and live a better life.
Well, thank you, Debbie Mikulla. This has been really enlightening. I feel all inspired now to go clean my closet.
Send me a before and after pic.
Oh, that's a good idea. And actually, a lot of you can do that here too. Send in your pics, send in your questions. We'll have this on Facebook. It'll be on YouTube.
I would love if anybody has any questions, I would love to.
Yeah, put those in there. We'll certainly go back and we'll look for your comments and be sure to chime in there. And a way that you can find all of us on YouTube as well is just do a search for Successful Women Made Here. You'll see this video posted there. Would love it if you subscribe as well, because we'll be doing lots of these interviews with experts. Actually, there's a library in there already of more than 60 interviews on all kinds of topics. So thank you. Yeah, thank you, Debbie. I really do. I feel all inspired now to go take a much closer look at my closet and really, I have things color-coded. Yeah, color-coded, but that's about as far as it's gone. So I want to have a grown-up closet with matching hangers.
One that helps you get dressed with ease.
Yeah.
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 So I
And
wanted to
thank
also share with
Yeah.
you, pardon me, I wanted to
Mhm.
just share that if someone finds they just can't get through it alone and would like to employ my services, I am offering a special.
Mhm.
You can just shoot me an email and mention this video or Successful Woman Made Here. And I am offering 30% off the services, and we'll do it via
Oh, wow.
FaceTime. We could perhaps do it via Zoom. I think FaceTime's the best.
Mhm.
While we are all hunkered down in place, sheltering safely, that offer stands.
And okay, so whenever we're out of the woods, as far as that go, so you have until
Yes,
that
when I
time,
can
which, you know,
come and be
we
there, when I can be there in person, we'll go back
yeah,
to
to
the
normal
normal.
prices. So take
Right.
advantage of that 30% off. Yeah, while this pandemic's happening and while we're at a stay-at-home situation. So that's very
Yeah.
kind of you. Thank you, and thanks for
Sure.
all those wonderful tips. And
Oh, you're welcome.
yeah.
Thank you so much for having me, Sheryl. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, that'll be it for another episode here of Successful Women Made Here in our Success Studio. And we hope to see you much more often, whether on Facebook, YouTube, or hopefully again one day in person. All right. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.